Right, we are on live, we are on air. This is week 4 of Best Year Ever, and I don't think we've got anyone live on the call at the moment, but that's okay. I know most people like to listen to or watch back to the recording, so I am going to go with things anyway, because I've got a couple of things that I want to talk about. I've not had any questions sent to me yet, so this might be a short for today. But if you have got any questions, what I'll do is I'll check back into the Facebook group before I go, or if I get some people joining the call halfway through, I will be checking back to see if there's any questions there to answer in the chat box as well. So, like I say, welcome to week 4 of Best Year Ever. And I've had quite a busy couple of weeks with a lot of discovery calls. And I love doing these because whether people sign up for an ongoing coaching course or not, I get an awful lot out of them. I get to hear what is holding people back. I get to hear about how they're talking about things, the language they're using when they're talking about their feelings, their emotions. So they give me a huge amount of data which helps me move forward in coaching clients and doing my book programs. So what I wanted to do, what I've been looking at, I think I've done 38 discovery calls in the last almost 3 weeks. So what I've been looking for is the common themes, and what I'm going to do is share those 8 things that I want to share with you that have come out of the discovery calls that I've had over the last 8 weeks. So these apply whether you are in business or whether you have a job. To be honest, they probably apply even if you don't have a business or a job, even if you're even if you are a stay-at-home mum or currently unemployed, they probably still apply, but definitely apply if you are working or if you've got a business. So I've got 8 of them, and I'm just going to go through them. Right, we have got somebody else on the call live now, so that's okay. You haven't missed anything. What I was saying is any questions, just type them in the chat box and I will get to them after I've gone through these 8 things here that I want to cover. And so I'll check into the chat box and I'll also check into the Facebook group for any questions that we've got, because I've got a little bit of content that I want to cover, and then it's about the questions. So I'm going to get started on those 8 things, sharing those things that have been the common themes that have come up from the discovery calls that I've done with clients or potential clients. So the first one that I want to talk about is keeping things simple. You've probably heard kids keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, sweetheart, or however. I just talk about simplicity. Simplicity to me equals success. When we're trying to do too much and trying to do too much at once and trying to got too many things buzzing around in our head and trying to add too much value to the project we're doing at work or the services we're giving to clients, when we're trying to put too much in there, it just gets muddied, we get foggy, we feel scattered, and we end up not producing our best work. So I want you to think in terms of simplicity equals success. When you're overwhelmed by things, you need to start taking things away. If you're overwhelmed, you can't do it all, and you are not the most effective version of yourself. So if you're overwhelmed, start looking at what you can take away. What can you say no to? What are you doing because you think you should do it? And we'll talk about language in a little while as well. But what are you doing because you think you should? What are you saying yes to, even though actually you're feeling resentful, frustrated about saying yes to those things? So what can you start saying no to? What can you start taking away? If it's you yourself giving yourself too much to do, how can you concentrate on just one thing at a time? So if you've got a business, maybe you're trying to post in 4 different social media places at the same time, focus on one. Focus on being successful in one area instead of 4. If you have 4 different projects going on at work or 4 different things which are juggling for your attention at work, how can we focus on one thing at a time? Sometimes we find that when we something can crop up and it can seem urgent at the time, but actually if we put it to one side and just tell ourselves it'll have to wait, or tell the person who's asking us about it it'll have to wait, sometimes that thing just sorts itself out. because they find an answer, the problem goes away, whatever it is. So sometimes we get all worked up and overwhelmed about something, take on an extra problem, and actually we left it, it would sort itself out. So what can you take away? How can you start doing one thing at a time? What can you take away when you're overwhelmed? So number one, simplicity equals success. Number two, and I think this is a really important one, and a comment that somebody made in the Facebook group just drew my attention to this as well, about how important it is. Listen to your emotions. Your emotions are telling you something. And we can often judge our emotions. So if we're feeling overwhelmed, we can feel like we can judge ourselves like that. That means I'm not strong enough. If we're feeling sad, oh, I can't believe I'm getting upset or sad about this, and I should be stronger, I should be able to deal with this. Again, listen to the language, the should in there. So don't judge yourself. If you're feeling happy, if you're feeling alive, if you're feeling fantastic, if you're feeling in flow, that's great. What are you doing? Listen to that emotion as well. What are you doing? How can you do more of it? But if you're feeling an emotion that we often class as negative, and a heavier emotion, an emotion that's got more negative energy about it, don't judge yourself. Don't think, right, I've got to stop feeling like that. Just be curious about it. What is making you feel like that? And one of the comments in the Facebook group was about watching I can't say it now, Marie Forleo video, and Marla said that the video didn't resonate with her. I can't remember the language she used. Marie's quite outgoing, quite bubbly, and Marla was very very open and honest in saying it made her feel jealous. And she initially, that wasn't what she thought. Initially, she just thought that style didn't resonate with her. And then she started thinking, well, actually, maybe it's something different. And she saw that there was some jealousy there. And that's fine. Don't judge that jealousy. That jealousy is there to tell you something. Maybe it's telling you that you still don't accept certain things about yourself. That's fine. You don't have to change who you are. You don't have to judge that jealousy. That's a really good insight, and maybe it is telling you there are some things you need to work on there around self-esteem, self-worth. Maybe it's something totally different. Without exploring that with somebody, I really don't know what it's saying. But that emotion is telling you something. So just sit with it. Just allow it. Just be curious about what it's telling you. So when we have those, what we class as negative emotions, I want you to be grateful for them. I want you to realize that changing how you feel about something starts with awareness. So be grateful for those emotions, whether they're positive or negative, because I don't see them either way. I just see them as we're humans, we have these emotions, and they are there to guide us. And we can listen to them or we can bottle them up and squash them down, and that does no good because they just get stronger and stronger until they explode. So be curious about those emotions. Be grateful that they're giving you an awareness about something, and if you start getting yourself trapped in a negative spiral, you can get trapped in a negative spiral of guilt, anxiety, depression. It can just spiral downwards and downwards until we find it really difficult to get back out of that negative place, that heavy place, that fearful place where we don't want to be. So when you're getting like that, and there's no judgment about being there, but obviously you don't want to stay there. So to get out of there more quickly, find something that lifts you up. Find something that raises your energy, raises your vibration. What do you love to do? Do you love to dance around the sitting room listening to Elvis CDs? Do you love to go for a walk along the beach? For me, it's going for a walk along the beach. What do you love to do? Do you love colouring in? Do you love drawing? Do you love having taking your grandson or granddaughter out? What do you love to do? And we can often think, well, I haven't got time to do that thing, but actually we haven't got time to be sucked into this negative space where that energy is just dragging us down and making things hard for us. We need to get out of that as soon as possible. And the quickest way to get out of that is to raise our energy, raise our vibration, and do something that lights us up. So what lights you up, and how can you start doing more of it if you're tempted, if you're liable to get into that negative downward spiral? So that was number 2, listen to your emotions. Number 3, and I touched on this already, but number 3 is watch your language. What are you saying to yourself? This is the thing that stands out to me when I start talking to a new client or when I do discovery calls with potential clients. I hear words like, I need to, I should, I'm stupid, oh, I can't believe that I did that, I'm so stupid. And even though they're sort of saying that with they don't really believe they're stupid, but they're using terms like, I can't believe I did that, I'm so stupid. One lady I spoke to even said, and she was talking about the way she was in the past job, and she said, I used to be so arrogant, and now she's in a very different line of work. She's a healer now, she's in a very different line of work. But the way she talked about the way she used to be, saying, I used to be so arrogant. Don't use words like that about yourself, even if you're talking about them in the past tense. We've all made mistakes, we've all done things we aren't proud of, but they are part of our journey. There's no judgment moving forward. It's whether things went well in the past for us or didn't go well for us, whether we're proud of what we've done and not proud of what we've done. It's all just part of our journey, and it doesn't mean we are a certain kind of person moving forward. She felt very much like she wasn't making money in the business now because she was being punished for being, and she didn't think, oh, I'm not making money now because I'm being punished, but that's almost how it felt when she thought about her emotions and started talking about how she felt. She felt like she was arrogant before. When she was earning lots of money, she was arrogant. She walked away from that place, and now it's almost like she's being punished. She feels like she deserves it now. She feels like she deserves to struggle now. I don't know whether she was arrogant in that past job. Maybe she was the way she was in that job because that was a different environment, a different culture, because that's the way to survive in that environment. We are different people in different environments. No judgment. So stop judging yourself for the past. Stop judging yourself for where you are now. Just take that curiosity forward with you. So watch your language. Stop saying things like, I'm hoping to, or I try to. You know, when people talk to me about their goals, they say, right, well, I'm going to try to do that. And Yoda said, oh, what did Yoda say? Do or do not, there is no try. And I've actually got a little Yoda here. Just let me show you. There's my little Yoda. He is a very wise person, even though he's a little green thing. He's very wise. There is no try. You do it or you don't do it. If you fail, I don't like air quotes particularly, but you know what I mean. If you fail, that's a state of mind. That's a mindset. There is no failure, only feedback. I've said it before. You probably hear me say it again. There's no failure, only feedback. Go out and set the intention to do something. If it doesn't work, there's feedback. The feedback might be that actually you didn't want to do that thing in the first place. You just thought you should do it. So watch your language. Be aware of the shoulds, the needs to, the tries, I'm hoping. Yeah, so number 3, watch your language. Number 4, change your focus. And I talk about, a lot of talk about you get what you focus on, and I'm not going to go into the story again about my border terriers, because that's the example I use all the time, but quickly, when we got to border terriers, I saw them all the time. It's all my awareness. So when it comes to setting goals, instead of putting your focus on the outcome, put your focus on whether or not you actually step outside of your comfort zone. So one of the things that came out of the webinar I did recently is one lady said she normally well, that's a bad example. That's terrible. Sorry. So you change your focus. So instead of thinking, My goal is to get 3 new clients by the end of the week. Change your focus to what you are going to do. So your focus, instead of being the results, your focus can be, I am going to talk to 10 people about what I do this week. If you get 3 new clients, awesome, but you ultimately can't control that. Yes, there's things you can do and there's feedback there, so you can maybe look at your sales technique, but ultimately you have control over whether you contact 10 people or whether you talk to 10 people about your business. You don't have control over whether they sign up. Yes, it's something you can work on, but you have control over whether or not you contact 10 people or whatever it is. But so yeah, so be attached to the action you're taking. Focus on the action you need to take or you want to take, not need to, that you want to take, that you choose to take, rather than focusing on the end results. So number 4, change your focus. Number 5, so just have a quick drink. I'm just going to check whether we've got any questions because we're almost halfway through the questions. I'm just going to. Right, no questions in the chat box there. So we've got a couple of new people just joined us. So any questions, post them in the chat box and I'll come back to them, or in the Facebook group. And I'll quickly check there before the end of the webinar as well. So let's get back. Number 4 was change your focus. Number 5 is it's okay for people to not understand you. And we can get upset when, especially loved ones, friends or family, when we don't understand what we're trying to do. We can feel alone or disappointed when people don't understand what we want to do. We can feel frustrated if they underestimate us, and that can, if somebody underestimates us, especially a loved one, that can make us think, well, there's no point even trying. Because we all have that doubt. We all have the, can we do this? So if the people around us don't believe in us, we haven't, that just eats away at our self-confidence. It eats away at the belief that we actually can do this. So that's why coaching's fantastic, because I believe you can do this, and I probably believe you can do this, whatever this is, before you can, or more than you can. And it doesn't mean it's easy, but I believe we can all do anything that we want to do enough. And sometimes people set goals that they don't want enough or that they think they should do. So again, it's something that coaching helps you to look at. So it doesn't matter if people underestimate you. It doesn't matter if people support you. If your husband, your partner, your mum, whoever, if they don't support you, that doesn't matter. They probably aren't either your ideal client or they aren't the person who pays your wages. It doesn't matter. How does it feel to you? How does it feel inside of you? Do you feel like you are doing the right thing? I think as an entrepreneur, it's easier to look at it. Is that thing you're doing lighting you up? Are you here to make a difference in the world? Sometimes that thing isn't our zone of, it isn't the thing that we have a natural ability at. I was talking to somebody who is amazing at graphic design, yet the thing that lights her up is coaching others. So it might have seemed sensible for her to go into graphic design, but actually the thing that lights her up is coaching others. So when you're an entrepreneur, it's sometimes easier, I think, to work out what lights you up. And there's lots of things that light you up, and then it gets complicated working out one. I think sometimes when we're in a job, it may be harder because that job, they will often, even if the job is something you love, there'll often be a lot of parts of it that are stressful and overwhelming and take away from the parts of the job that we love. But there are ways that you can do more of the things you love. It may be that you have to look for a change of career. It may be that you'd love to look for a change of career but don't believe it's possible, in which case that's not true. That's a story you're telling yourself. There are ways around that. But in the short term, how can you do more of things that light you up? So it doesn't matter if people don't understand. That's number 5. It's okay for the people around you not to understand. It's okay for them not to support you. It's okay for them to think you're a bit mad. You know, I talk to people who are healers and psychics and all sorts of different things, and their partner thinks they're just plain bonkers, and in some cases they haven't even come out to their friends and family. That doesn't matter. You know, you can. I'm going to talk about being visible in a minute, but none of that matters. That doesn't stop you going in the direction you feel you want to go. So it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's not okay to let those people, those other people. It's not okay to let other people's judgments or what you perceive as judgments to hold you back. So number 5 was it's okay for people not to understand. Number 6. I've wrote down, does it feel icky or just feel uncomfortable? And what I mean by that is some of the conversations I've had lately are where people have stopped doing things because they've come up against a bit of a block. And they've seen that block as a sign that they have to do something else because they thought this thing just didn't resonate with them anymore. They thought they'd lost their passion for this thing. Well, actually, when I spoke to them, they just felt uncomfortable. And that uncomfortableness, that was coming from fear because of one particular incident which had led them to lose their confidence. So something you might change focus, you might change direction, whether it's a business or a job, you might need to change direction. But where is that feeling coming from? If it's coming from just a plain ickiness, like, oh, that just makes my skin crawl, maybe it is time for change. But if it's just coming from an uncomfortableness, not when I say just uncomfortable, there can be a huge amount of uncomfortableness about it. But often that fear is coming from a different place, and fear and excitement is very closely linked. It's a very similar feeling, but the fear, there's a quote, fear is the same as excitement, but we breathe with excitement. When we get that fear, we just tense up, we stop breathing, our whole body changes because we don't breathe properly. Whereas if we're excited, we will breathe, and we're almost hyper, but it's the same sort of energy. So what is behind that? That thing that is stopping you doing something? Is it a fear of being visible, or is it actually that the thing you're doing is something that you think you should be doing, but actually you don't want to, in which case that's why it feels icky? Is it something that your partner's told you you need to do? Is it something that you've been told you need to do on a webinar or by a coach or when you were reading a book? One of the ladies I spoke to this week, who, and this particular example comes from her, she felt extremely uncomfortable and she pulled the plug on a whole course she'd already started to sell. And when I spoke to her about it, it was nothing to do with feeling icky. It wasn't that she didn't resonate with that thing anymore. She had been told that she needs to do video to be successful. And she'd also had an encounter with a client which she'd felt which had knocked her confidence. And the two things at once had made her doubt everything about her business. But actually, just because somebody tells you you need to do videos to be successful, if videos don't resonate with you, don't do them. There are other ways. You can. I think being visible is great and important, but you don't have to be out there doing lots and lots of videos. There are other ways you can do it. You can start off just by putting one simple picture on your website if you have none. If it's in the workplace, maybe it's going to meetings in place of your boss. Maybe it's speaking up at team meetings. Maybe it's you know, if speaking up's not a problem, maybe it's speaking out when you have a difference of opinion. But yes, I'm jumping forward a little bit to being visible, but is that thing stopping you? Is it stopping you because you feel uncomfortable about it? And that might be just fear attached to you need to stretch your comfort zone, or is it because that thing isn't authentic to you? It's not what the real you wants to do. So I hope I've explained that very well, because I think if something's just uncomfortable and really there's no just about it, because when something's uncomfortable, that fear can really paralyze us. But there are ways to take small steps forward. I've talked about the baby steps before, and when we look at the huge big picture far off on the horizon, that can seem very scary, but actually that's that one small baby step that you can take to start pushing your comfort zone just that little. So number 6 was, does it feel icky or just uncomfortable? And I think I've got to find a better way to describe that, but hopefully you know what I mean. So number 7 was, be visible, stop hiding. I've spoken about this a little while already, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But if you want to have your best year ever, you need to be visible. You need to, and it could be, it's also about finding your voice. It's about standing up for yourself. It's about knowing what you want and being comfortable saying it. So we can, if we have a difficult relationship with a partner, sometimes it's easier to avoid that confrontation. But what if you actually owned your feelings and you stepped up and you told that person how you felt? It could be the same in a job. Maybe you've got a difficult relationship with a boss or an employee, and it's easy to avoid that confrontation. Well, actually, that's a way of hiding. What if you were visible, if you were confident in saying what you feel, and you can say things in a non-confrontational way, so all you're doing is expressing your feelings. So it can be as simple as, when you did X, I felt Y. And that isn't blaming them. When we're blaming somebody, in which case they're feeling defensive, when we say something like, you made me feel, when you did such and such, you made me feel angry, upset, sad. That is putting the blame on them. Whereas when you say, when you did such and such, I felt angry or I felt sad, you're owning your emotions, but you're telling them your emotions have come as a result of something they've done. But you're not blaming them. You're just, they have done something. Hopefully they won't. When you talk about it, it's important to say, it's important to describe what they did and not use any. So don't say, when you lost your temper, I felt angry. Say something like, when we had that discussion about whatever it is, the things you said and the tone of voice you used made me feel angry, sad, whatever. So be careful in the choice of language. But don't hide away, don't avoid those things. Be visible, whether it's visible in a job or visible stating your needs to a partner, or visible getting out there and talking about your business. Stop hiding away. How can you get out there, even if it's those baby steps again? So number 7 was be visible, stop hiding. And number 8, which is the last one, that I want to share with you today, is to be a leader, not a follower. Be a leader. And a lot of people I talk to don't think of themselves in terms of being a leader. Some people do. Some people it just totally resonates with them, especially if they've been told they were bossy when they were younger. And I want to think of yourself. If you've been told you're bossy, I want you to reframe that, because we need to reframe it for the younger generation of women out there who are being told they're bossy. If they're not bossy, they've got good leadership skills. And I think it was somebody who works in, it was the author of Lean In who said that. Cheryl. Anyway, So yeah, if you've been told you're bossy, you're not bossy, you've got good leadership skills, and that is good. It is good to have good leadership skills. You are a leader, you aren't a follower. And this may be in your life, a leader in your life, it may be a leader in your job, even if you're not a leader in the true sense of the word. It could be, if you are an entrepreneur, you are definitely a leader. When you're a follower, you're a victim to what goes on around you, and you start comparing yourself to others and wondering, and you start thinking you've got to do things that actually don't resonate with you. But if you're a leader in your life, then you are a better role model, whether it's just for your partner, whether it's for your children, if you have children, or whether it's just for the people you encounter in your day-to-day life, whether it's just for the lady in the post office. It's those little ripples. Don't underestimate anything you do. You are a leader, so step into it, own it. It's not about, we think of leaders sometimes as being these people who are mad for power. And we think about power as often we attach a negative energy to power, but it's that internal power, it's your inner power, it's the power that we have to step into if we want to change the world and we want to live our potential, fulfill our potential. To be a leader at home, even if it's just your husband, even if it's just the cats. Be a leader at work, even if you're not a manager and you don't have what is classed as a traditional leadership position. If you are in a meeting and you are there with 10 other people who are exactly the same as you, and you've got a manager above you who most people will see as the leader, if you have different thoughts, find the courage to speak up. It's not necessarily about being confrontational again. It is about valuing what you say, stepping up to and believing in yourself, and saying it in a way where you feel good coming out of the meeting, because whether anybody else listened to you or not, or did what you, or took any notice of you or not, you voiced your opinion. And you, by doing that, are being a leader because you are encouraging other people to do the same. So as long as you do it in the right way, be a leader wherever you are, especially if this is your own business, you're a solopreneur, you absolutely, totally have to be a leader. You have to have the courage to go out there and say, this is me, this is what I do, this is how I can help you. Come and buy from me. So yeah, be a leader is the last one. So they are my 8 top tips that I want to share with you that have been the common themes that have come out for me over the last few weeks from talking to different people that hold women back, men too, but it's women I speak to, it's women I coach. So they are the common things that hold women back from being successful, whatever success looks like, and having their best year ever. Because it is all about us. It's all about what's in here. It's all about our mindset. It's all about what we tell ourselves. It's not about being a victim. It's about changing your life yourself, and that starts with those 8 things there I've shared with you, in my opinions. Number 1, simplicity equals success. Number 2, listen to your emotions. Number 3, watch your language. Number 4, change your focus. Number 5, it's okay for people not to understand you or not to support you. It's okay for people to underestimate you. It's all okay. It doesn't matter. That's not a reason to not go forward. Number 6, does it feel icky or does it feel uncomfortable? They're 2 different things. Is it about something's not aligned to the real you, or is it about just getting over that fear that's holding you back? Be visible. Stop hiding. And I suppose actually be visible and be a leader is very similar. I could probably lump them under one thing, because a leader leads and is not scared to be visible. So I could maybe put them under the same thing, but number 8, be a leader. So I'd love to know which of those resonated with you. So for those of you who are online, if you just type them into the chat box for me while I nip over to the Facebook group and just see whether we've got any questions posted in there. Right, I don't know whether people can still hear me. I clicked the wrong button there and somehow managed to click out of the Google Hangout, so I'm not sure if people can see me or not because the interface thingy is gone. So there was no, hopefully you can't hear me, but I had finished the end of the webinar. There's no questions in the Facebook group. There wasn't any in the chat when I left. Still happy to answer any questions that you post into the Facebook group. So like I say, I'm not sure whether you can see me or not. So what I'm going to do is say goodbye, but any questions I will pop over to the Facebook group, so just post them there for you, because like I say, I don't know whether you can hear me or not at the moment. So that's it for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.